Hi, hello. Welcome back to another episode of A Spark of Thought. I'm Renee, gagged to be here with Miss Dani from Awake and Bake Podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to get into it. I have been thinking so much about luteal phase. It has been like consuming my brain. Every month, I'm like, why do I feel like I'm about to die? Oh, right.
Real.
It's luteal phase.
Yeah.
When I was thinking about like what has been my experience with luteal phase, I realized like the first thing that I noticed in my childhood was everything in the menstrual cycle was called PMSing. And
Yeah.
so I didn't know the difference between ovulation anger and luteal phase crying. I just thought it was all you're PMSing, which means you're about to start your period, and that was just that. Where it caused a lot of issue for me, especially as a college student, particularly like a younger adult, was I started to realize that I had no clue when I actually expected my period to come because I would just notice that sometimes I recognized symptoms and would say my period's about to come and it would come the next week. But then sometimes I would be like, I feel like it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I felt PMSing. Like, when is
Yeah.
it going to happen?
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like, what your experiences with luteal phase, what it was like for you as a kid, as a young adult.
As far as yeah, the PMSing is, I called it the same thing. I literally just always said, like, I have the worst PMS. And I would say my PMS starts before and after my period.
Mhm.
So I was like, mine isn't premenstrual, it's pre and post. And then somebody was like, oh, that's called like perimenstrual, I guess, like, which means like before and after or all around. I don't
Mhm.
really know. But this was all before I was diagnosed. And then I always like, I've just had very intense periods my whole life. Part of that, I realized I was diagnosed when I was 26, so like a year ago, as autistic, which made so much sense for me, but truly wasn't something I ever really knew before then.
Okay.
Um, and so once I found that out, and my autism runs in my family. One of my brothers is autistic. My parents are autistic. Like,
Okay.
once I got diagnosed, my mom was like, "Wait a minute! Like, everything's making sense now for her as well. Like, stuff like that. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?" So
Mhm.
I think my sensory issues with autism made also like really makes my PMDD much worse.
Okay.
But PMDD, I did actually get diagnosed with before autism. I
Okay.
got diagnosed with PMDD when I was like 22 or 23. And I kind of had a feeling before that I had something wrong with me. But
Okay.
I thought well, I am bipolar, but I just was like, my bipolar meds aren't working.
Uh-huh.
Like, I was like, they must not work because when my period comes, I would always tell my doctor, like, I don't know who I am anymore. Like, it's like I'm a different person.
Okay.
Um, and so I went to the doctor and I was like, I'm like ruining my life. Like, and it's not me. But when it's happening to me, when I'm in my PMDD phase mentally, I can't even remember a time I was happy before. It's like this is the real me in this moment.
Mhm.
But then once it wears off, I'll be like, wow, I can't believe I thought that way. Kind of thing. So I had to tell my doctor, like, well, I went to the gynecologist. Um, and I was there for a few things, like just period issues in general, but I was mentioning that. And she was like, well, have you ever, like, has it caused like suicidal thoughts? And I was like, yes. And she was like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
That's not good. When
Mhm.
was your last suicidal thought? And I was like, last night. And then she was
Okay.
like, well, now I have to admit you a day stay in the hospital. And I was talking to them about what's going on, and they were like, it sounds like PMDD, so we're going to refer you to a psychiatrist after we
Okay.
keep you on suicide watch. And yeah, my psychiatrist confirmed it. I've heard of people saying like their gynecologist told them they had it, which
Mhm.
mine did say she thought it was, but she also was
Right.
like, I can't diagnose you. But I
Mhm.
have heard of people saying their gynecologist did diagnose them. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying the route I took was gynecology, then referred to a psychiatrist. 22 ish was like when I was like diagnosed, and that helped a lot. It explains so much. Like, you hate yourself less.
Right, right. So would you say that when you were experiencing the diagnosis of PMDD, it was mostly just the distress that you were trying to get under control or understand?
It was causing a lot of issues. in my relationships and in my employment. So
Okay.
like, not that I acted different at work, that was like never an issue. It would be like I was so fueled with like honestly, when I'm going through PMDD, I become extremely angry,
Okay.
and my brain is convinced that like every person in my life mistreats me, doesn't love me,
Mhm.
thinks that they'd be better off without me. And
Mhm.
so the same kind of applies to work as well, where
Mhm.
it's like I'm all of a sudden really upset with my working conditions, or with like feeling like I've been mistreated, even if I love my job. Like, and the thing is, like, both times with work and with my relationships, I knew I was the one causing the issues. But
Mhm.
in those moments, I'm like, no, this is reality. I can't even remember anything
Mhm.
else. It changed my character more than anything. Like, I was unhappy, I was sad, I was angry. Like, I was not Dani
Mhm.
at all.
Mhm.
I was just somebody who was full of really, like, I don't want to say negative emotions, but they weren't like really rooted in anything either. So they kind of were just heavy negative emotions.
So that was like, if that was your experience as a young adult, do you remember having those same feelings as a high schooler or as a middle schooler? Or would you say it came to light more just like in young adulthood? Because for me personally, it's like I remember crying a lot as like a 12, 13-year-old, like having a period, but it's amazing how, like, when I think about it, I'm like, no, I feel like everything was fine until I hit my like young 20s, and then my brain just went and egg scramble cooked, and like
Yeah.
I'm 26and I'm like trying to kind of piece it together, and like I feel like it all makes sense.
I will say I might be a different case. I
Okay.
didn't get my period until I was 16.
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
got,
I started my period at 9.
yeah, well, most people started way younger, like, than
Yeah.
I did, but
Yeah.
I was, not only was I just kind of a late bloomer, but I was anorexic my like whole
Okay.
childhood. So I
Gotcha.
ended up accidentally like pushing off my
Mhm.
period.
Yeah.
And so I actually got my period on my 16th birthday.
Wow.
And yeah, and I couldn't tell anybody either because I was the only person I knew at that age who didn't have their period yet.
Right.
So I literally just like, I told my mom, and she was like, "Oh, I kind of thought you already had it." Like,
Sure.
yeah. So that was that. But I will say, as soon as mine started, and I do think again, malnourishment plays a role in things. So like,
Absolutely.
but when mine started, I have always had just like irregular, intense periods. So
Mhm.
mostly in the beginning, mine was all just pain issues,
Okay.
extremely painful periods, extremely heavy. I would pass out from like, because when I first started, I refused to use a pad because like I was a dancer, and all the dancers and stuff, they're like, ew, no, pads, no, use a tampon, don't be gross.
Mhm.
Tampons actually really hurt me. Like,
Mhm.
they don't hurt my puss, they hurt my inside, like my stomach area, like where like the uterus, you know what I mean?
I get like chills from tampons. Like I almost feel like I've left a tampon in for 26 hours and it's only been in for 30 minutes. So like
Yes.
I
I
am
don't,
ready
yeah.
to
So now I
go.
actually don't use tampons unless I
Me
have to, like, unless
neither.
it's like there's no getting around it.
Mhm.
Um, but I, at the time, was just, I would put in a super plus tampon. In the hour, I would bleed through it, through onto my clothes and stuff like that. So my mom actually took me to a gynecologist right away at 16, as soon as I got my period,
Mhm.
and they put me on birth control. But honestly, I can't. That's why I'm like, I'm not the best case to tell you about the childhood part, mostly because my periods were so bad right away, and I was such a late bloomer that my mom just basically was like, let's just get you on the pill. I was barely on the pill because it made me crazy. I was literally not even on it for a year, and then I had an IUD at the age of 17.
Gotcha.
Uh, so my hormones have been insane, but I've just always struggled with imbalance. It wasn't until I got off of all birth control that I realized, okay, so without the birth control, I'm crazy basically all month long
Mhm.
instead of like randomly. Like, I always would say I get one good week, but it's more
Yeah.
like I get 4 good days.
Right. It is so interesting how you had the experience of malnourishment playing a role, though, in that whole experience because I also feel like I sort of had the other end of that. I was definitely overweight as a kid, and food was Hamburger Helper or like Sloppy Joe's, like Midwest staples, baby.
Yeah.
Like casseroles, all the comfort, yummy.
Oh yeah, I'm from Ohio. I get you.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't eat it, but it was there.
Right, right. But for me, I think what's interesting is being on the other side of it, where having excess adipose tissue or fat, and that being a hormonally active, like it gives off estrogen,
Yes.
that also would affect my periods being regular. Not a doctor, so not going to say I know, but I have read that being overweight like extends the luteal phase and also impacts like flow. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't
that would make sense because of
necessarily,
like the estrogen and everything.
so I would go like times where I didn't necessarily have a heavy flow, but my periods would just last forever, or they'd be really short and I'd have a couple periods. It's interesting how we both were like experiencing bizarre symptoms, but like I
But
guess
on
as
other ends
kids,
of
you
it.
just don't know. Like,
Because also, I don't think like, I love my mother so much.
mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful that she's pro medicine, you know what I mean? Like, she immediately was like, let's take you to the doctor, get you on birth control.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
but at the same time, she's one of those people that like society failed women in terms of letting them learn about their own anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love her. She's the best. I did recently have a conversation with her talking about the female parts, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing," and I was like, "Oh, that's sad." Okay.
Yeah.
Fault, not her fault.
No, it was my therapist who, like 2 years ago, explained to me, that's not PMSing. Like, I think you're ovulating. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't even know what that means. Like, my
Mm-hmm.
family lacks the curiosity to even care. So when she at first told me that, I was like, who cares? Like, so what? I accidentally mislabeled it. And then it's like 2 years later, I'm like, oh, because it's literally a different part of my experience, you're saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you like cycle sync?
Explain that further to me.
So I just like started doing it
Okay.
probably like maybe like a year ago. But it's basically where you cater your lifestyle as much as you can because like people have to go to work, we have kids, whatever. But catering your lifestyle as much as you can to the phase of your cycle you're in, and really based on how you feel. So you don't have to like change your diet, but like maybe eat more fruits during a certain part. During my luteal phase, I usually eat a lot more meat because one, my body's craving it, and so I try to listen to my cravings. Whereas during like my follicular phase, I'm craving fruit all the time. So
Okay.
it's like stuff like that, and you also adjust your exercise levels, you adjust your social levels. So I've like really started implementing that, and that is so like chef's kiss.
I would say that honestly, I feel like I do. And I think that that phrasing, cycle syncing, is super cute. And I do think it transitions really nicely into the next question that I had for you. How does luteal phase impact your mindset or your creative process?
Like I was kind of saying before, my luteal phase very similar to just like when my PMDD is horrible. I get very intense, very negative sometimes, harsh. You know, just I'm less like optimistic. I'm less like
Mhm.
everything's bubbly, girly, cutesy. I'm like, well, someone's got to be the one holding it down around here. Someone's got to be the truth speaker. I'll do it, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I do try to like lean into that a little bit if I'm feeling like inspired about a topic. I won't shy away from it if I'm like, I want to talk some shit. I'll
Okay.
do that, but I'm not gonna lie. I plan out my episodes, like my podcast and like or my YouTube episodes in advance. I
Hmm.
have like a list specifically for when I'm feeling uninspired of like topics that are basically already written out for me. I just have to put like details in.
Hmm.
So that definitely helps a lot. And because I do, like I said, I just don't feel as inspired or as like lighthearted
Hmm.
during my luteal phase. I have like 50 ideas. So I've had to just learn to do that because it, like I said, I'm just a really intense person in my luteal phase, which
Hmm.
is just so funny because like half the time I'm talking in an accent and like dancing with my dogs. And then
Yeah.
like another part of my cycle, I'm like, the revolution will not be televised and I will lead it. Like
For some reason, Awake and Bake hasn't been updated in like a week, and it's because like your bitch is protesting,
I'm on the front
like
lines with a
taking
mic.
on Don himself.
That and let me at him. No, let me at him.
Having a running list of like what are some more low-key things. It's interesting coming from the perspective of ADHD versus autism, and maybe you do experience this, but I will try to make a list where I'm like, okay, this is going to be the video that I make because I already have it planned out. I'm taking so much like work away from myself, and then I'll see it and it's like my brain is like, what the is this? This is old news. I don't want this.
Mhm.
No, I am not going to do it. I've been, and I don't necessarily have the answer yet because like it just has been something that I've been mulling over recently. I need the ideas to still be fresh and I still need the inspiration to create, but I'm trying to lean into different formats. And I guess for you, it's like you lean into a different energy. I try to almost think about it like a different method of
Yeah.
content or something possible.
I actually do have that happen sometimes. I'm not gonna lie,
Okay.
like, because I am somebody, I like record my videos very fast. Like I'm either taking notes like the night before and recording as soon as I wake up,
Okay.
and then I'm posting it that day. Or like if I did have it planned out like a day or two before, it's because I have like I'm gonna be busting out like batch content. You know what I mean?
The
But I
way
will
that
say,
I'm like, how are you doing it every 2 days? I don't understand.
literally that's the autism because I have to have routine.
Uh-huh.
But what I will say is I do get like you where sometimes I'm like, that's old news. Who gives a shit? We've all moved past that. That's when I do my like downloads, like I'll just do pull cards. Takes
Mm-hmm.
all the pressure off of me,
Mm-hmm.
but I still get to interpret it like how I'm kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have to plan anything. I'm just like, all right, universe, like, what do we have to say to the collective?
I love that though. And I think that's so fair of like taking the pressure off of the planning during that time because it's just like I'm fighting for my life right now. Like I'm just surviving. I need to have the how released for me.
I don't know if you know who Roxy Talks is, but she's like a manifesting
Mm.
kind of girl. I found her like years ago. I don't really watch her content anymore just because I'm in like a not like oh, I know everything about manifesting, but I feel like I know like a good amount. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But her one of her quotes that she always said was, "I am the what and the now, not the when and the how."
I
So
like that.
she focuses on like right now, what can she do? And she
Yeah.
doesn't focus on what if it's not good enough? What if I don't make it? She's like, the universe will handle it. I'm just the what and the now.
Oh, that's good. Love
Also,
that.
you're consistent as on your channel. I
Thank
literally the other day
you.
I didn't upload for like 2 days in a row. And I saw that you had uploaded like on like my kind of schedule, and I was like, yeah, I need to get a video out.
Like this bitch.
No, I was like, she's keeping me on schedule. Thank you.
I wanted to be able to crank out like 3 videos a week. I have had to understand that that is not my race. Like,
Yeah.
and every content creator who I hear any advice from is always like, if you're not consistent, just stop because like the algorithm will be like, who are you?
I've heard that too. And I will say I wasn't uploading this consistently for my first, I mean, I've been doing YouTube for like 4 years, and I'm only just now getting views. And I'm not even like, oh, I'm getting thousands of views, but like
Mm-hmm.
even getting 100 views minimum
Mm-hmm.
is took 4 years to do.
Mm-hmm.
So and
Mm-hmm.
I definitely wasn't do I used to just do like one video a week.
Mm-hmm.
But I just told myself, I don't know if you know who Bria Jones is. She's a content creator. Love her. If you don't know her, you need to check her out. She's incredible. Gives tips about like how long it took her to grow her YouTube and everything. And it took her 4 or 5 years as well before
Mm-hmm.
anyone even really started watching, let alone like having like a big following. So
Mm-hmm.
she just basically told me, she told like it was personal. I mean, she and I actually we're not like friends, but we're friendly now because I
Uh-huh.
have like committed so hard to like DMing her and responding to her stuff that she will like respond now back to me, or she'll like one time she commented on my anniversary post and she was like, oh my god, I just like love you guys. And I was like, oh, so we're best friends. When you are first starting out on YouTube, it's just more important, since no one is really going to watch it at first, like for a lot of people at least, we don't just start off with thousands of followers. The main thing is just you don't have to put out like 3 videos a week, even one video a week consistently, so that when you do pop off, you'll have so many videos of people to like binge, because people
Right.
really want to subscribe to somebody who they can like binge usually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, that's me. I'm like, can I go back and watch your back catalog? Because if not, see ya, sister. Like
Right.
October 14th it'll be a year of me doing the podcast. And when I started, I just told myself, like, just do it for a year and see what happens. And
You've only been doing it a year. You get 100 videos or 100 videos, 100 views on videos, probably more sometimes. But I'm like, girl, that took me so long. I was getting like 12 to 30 views for like at least 2 years. It's so exciting too because like I feel like YouTube is one of those algorithms that just doesn't really work in your favor. You know what I mean? Like you have to build it. It's not like it's pushing your content out when you're new or when you don't have an audience yet.
especially our niche, like
Oh my
people
god.
don't want to be happy. Like they want to talk shit. They want to watch train wrecks.
Yes.
They
And
don't
they
want
don't
philosophy and goodness.
that's
Like,
what I'm saying. They don't want to talk and they get so like on their high horse because I feel like the only type of content people want to hear from when it is someone trying to give like advice, if you're not like Jay Shetty level and you're not a Christian influencer, they're like, then you're a blue-haired liberal trying to tell me to do acid in the streets. And it's like,
period.
you
No.
could if you wanted to.
That, or if you're not shilling like self-care products.
Oh my god, yeah, like the or because I get really irritated when I see people do like how to be more in your feminine energy, but they don't understand feminine energy is like yin and yang. It is
Mm-hmm.
not like obey your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they're like, so start by throwing out all of your dark colors and wearing only light colors. Make sure it's only a dress. Make sure that your husband only sees you with makeup on. And I'm like, so that's not feminine energy. Like that's just your weird energy.
It's just misogyny.
People now have such a negative outlook when they think about like divine feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think divine feminine energy is one of the most amazing things in the world. I'm obsessed, but I understand why people are confused and why they're like, ew, I don't like it. I think it's misogynistic. And I'm like, because the way you've seen it presented is.
So that's like creating your content and how you sort of shift that mindset. Do you notice any shift in like consuming content? Because I think for me during luteal phase, I do feel kind of bitchy. I do catch myself hate watching a little bit. And
Yeah.
we have to rein it in because I do find myself getting a little weird with the judgments of like bitches I don't really know in real
Yeah.
life.
Oh yeah. The content that I take in and also just the way that I respond to it, like you said, I get more judgy about people I don't even know. And I'm sorry to the Swifties, but Taylor Swift becomes enemy number one. I just don't like fake feminists. So I just make her enemy number one usually when that happens. And I'm just like, why does anyone like her? But it's like, girl, there are other enemies to have as well. So like
Mhm.
relax.
Mhm.
I also find myself, that's when I really dive into like true crime documentaries or like I love watching, this is so funny. This is also the autism though. And the luteal phase combined. Like I am super into just learning about human nature, like how humans behave. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And there's this like panel of body language analysis experts, and they cover like a bunch of cases that have happened throughout the world. That is when I go hard and I learn about like all the crazy
Interesting.
shit in the world, body language stuff. Like that's how the way I intake content really changes. But honestly, for the most part, the luteal phase just makes me in terms of like my content, I'm just probably not watching stand-up comedians as much. I love a good stand-up comedian moment, or like Drew Afwalo, Caleb Heron. Like I love them so much, but when I'm or like Trixie and Katya, but when I'm not doing well,
Does it just like aggravate you and you're like, I'm just not gonna put myself there? Or is it like I just cannot resonate with this? So
yeah,
I'm
I can't resonate with happiness. Like I'm
okay.
like, you're so lighthearted. What's there to laugh about?
That's really interesting because I'm also bipolar. And my therapist, when she was like trying to first figure out like what do I think the fuck is wrong with you,
Mm-hmm.
she would tell me like you're like a chronically depressed person. And I would always tell her like, what is the point of fighting the depression? Like I'm just gonna lean into it. I literally am just gonna allow myself to like be this person. So I think that it's interesting that you shift your content like that. I think I probably am going to try to do so as well because I think it's interesting that you take the energy into like learning instead of just
Yeah.
hating. I'm like, okay, what do I need to like learn about? Because I definitely will zone in on a particular content creator.
Instead of like you said, instead of resisting the feeling, I'm not doing anything harmful. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's just like, okay, this is
Mhm.
what's this is just what feels good right now. Like I'm just gonna do
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel like when you're like feeling more spicy, and you're doing more like more like current events, I would say in your podcast, like do you allow yourself to lean into it of like this is how I truly feel or
Yeah, well, that's why the things that I talk about, I have to choose like super wisely because
right.
I cannot censor myself.
Okay.
Like I've been this way since I was a kid. Another thing that I'm pretty sure is the tism because I used to get in like, I'm not even kidding, I would get in full on political debates at 7 years old with my father and I didn't understand politics. I just knew he was wrong because I was like, the shit you're saying is really hateful, dude. Like he would just walk up to me wasted, angry. I'm 7 trying to do my homework in the living room. And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, you think what's happening overseas is okay? I don't know what's happening overseas. I have no idea. And I would be like, what? He would start explaining a little bit, and I would literally just be like, nothing you're saying sounds like it's even real, first of all. Like you know what I mean? Like, oh, these people wake up and they're training their babies to hate Americans type thing. I was like, I actually don't believe you. And I'm 7. So like
Mm-hmm.
but even at 7, I couldn't hold my tongue. I remember my little brothers would be like, if you just stop arguing with him and just say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you won't have to suffer. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but that would be lying and that would be going against my character. And like, I would rather die than go against my character.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to pick my topics wisely because I cannot censor myself. Like, I am just so myself everywhere I go that like, I have to really, really be mindful.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's my YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
censoring myself.
The next question that I have for you is how does luteal phase impact your body or your ability to work, sort of through the lens of how do you organize your tasks and job and schedule?
For somebody who is like a housewife and content creator,
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of leeway, which is fantastic. I'm very grateful for, and it was not always that way. So if you're not in that position, I feel for you, bitch. Okay, you're not alone. But uh, I allow myself to not be perfect. Specifically with like housework and chores. I'm the one like who mostly does all the chores. Like, I mean, my husband helps, but like I'm the one home.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna lie, when I'm in my specifically my luteal phase, when it's like getting closer to my period, like the closer it gets, it's like the house is going to be less spotless. It just is. There's the laundry is going to fall behind.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the main thing, and I just let it happen, and I just tell myself like I can't beat myself up right now. And I'm the only person who would beat myself up. Like my husband wouldn't care,
Mm-hmm.
but like I think I like I've been mentioning I really thrive on routine,
Mm-hmm.
and so like my routine does get a bit thrown off during my luteal phase. And instead of beating myself up and being like, if I don't do this routine, I'm a failure and I'm gonna die, I'm like, this happens every month. It's fine. I'll do it in
Mm-hmm.
like 3 days.
I feel the same way of like, I had to realize if it's not going to get done, it makes sense for it to not get done during this time.
Yes.
Because I used to feel just overwhelmed with like, oh my gosh, I know that I'm a messy person. I know that I can like have mess blindness until it's like, bitch, a bomb just went off in your room. Clean
Yeah.
up. See the details so well that for me, luteal phase has been something sort of symbolic of like zoom out and see the bigger picture
Yes.
right now. Like, if it's going to be messy, it makes sense for this time. And
Mm-hmm.
at first, I would try to just make like a luteal phase routine, but I had to really zoom out and
Yeah.
recognize that to be like, just stop.
Exactly. Well, and that's also when so for content creation, that's when I'll do a lot of my stuff that doesn't need my face as much on camera. So like even if I do need to have
Mm.
my face on camera, it can be
Mhm.
something that's like that's where if you guys follow me on Instagram or even like my reels on YouTube, I like to do fun edits.
Mhm.
Those are usually when I'm doing fun edits because it's less about put on makeup, be like this close to the camera because I
Mhm.
feel bloated. My eyes get extra bags under them. I literally started my period today too, so I feel kind of similar to that. And so I don't always want to be like up front like this, but I do have a lot of fun creative ideas of things I want to do. So that's when I'll do like a product cool transition video or something. So I'm
Oh
still
my
putting
gosh,
out.
your edits are so cool. I'm like, what software? Like I'm a zillennial boomer. Like I'm the kid that grew up on the Flash games, like Games 2 Girls. I was just click, 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 click. But
Hmm.
ask me to do something like skill-wise, and I'm like, I just learned iMovie and I barely passed graphic art in high school. You are so good at it.
That makes me feel really good because honestly, like I don't really feel that confident in it. I
No,
just
they're
got
so
comfortable with
fun.
iMovie. I only use CapCut, which I know is controversial, but I know because they can like own your videos and stuff. I've just decided I don't care. Like it is so user friendly that I can't like I'm. It's hard for me to learn. Like I'm not super technically savvy, is what I'm saying. I want to be, and I really do try, and I try to learn, but it's a bit difficult. And CapCut is just like an all-in-one. You want to keep my videos of me smoking weed and pole dancing? To me it's worth it. Slash, if one day it's not worth it and then it bites me in the ass, I'm like, well,
At
I,
least you looked hot doing it. Like,
at least
what
I
the
look
fuck
hot doing it. But if
ever.
people don't want to use CapCut, I understand, but it is what I use because it's like all there, all in one, user friendly. Because so if you're like me and you're like, I don't know what all these tools mean,
Hmm.
it's easy.
You mentioning that you do like more editing during that time, I'm like, I try to. I think that's where I'm still trying to learn. Like, because I don't have an iPhone anymore, I don't have like the quick camera.
That, yeah.
That has been challenging for me because I thought I was going to lean into shorts and stuff like that. I'm trying to lean more into editing and I'm trying to lean in more to the idea of you can take time on a bigger project. Like, I really want to make an Animal Crossing game because the other day I was looking at a plant and I was like, that's a man-faced stink bug. And I was like, I only know that because of Animal Crossing. What the hell? And so then I'm like, taking all these little pictures on my Switch, and I'm like, do I want to make an Animal Crossing game? That's gonna like take a lot of time. Maybe I should edit it during luteal phase. I've really had to detach myself from like trying to grow my channel because I am like, I don't have the energy, especially during luteal phase, to like worry about the algorithm.
Real. Oh my
About
God. Yeah. During luteal phase, I'm like, okay, whatever happens to my channel happens to my channel. I'll work on it again when
like
I'm back.
I follow a philosophy channel. Her name is Brittany Simon. I definitely recommend
I
her.
think I know who Brittany Simon is.
She is why I'm
Curly hair.
yes.
Yeah.
She is why I am the person I am today. She was my bubble pop. She is my philosophy god. I love her. One day I will make her collab with me. She's so all knowing. I'm like, what the I even talk to you about, girl? Like, you're the guru.
That's
But
awesome.
she just the other day was reviewing BoJack Horseman.
Oh yeah.
And she was talking about how the philosophy thing where every day the guy would like push the rock up the hill and then the rock would fall down every day. And the story is just over time he learned to find the joy in his journey. And like the fact that he would push it up knowing that it would fall down. Like it's all about learning to accept this is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Being at home has really helped me realize like, wow, the beauty of it all is while you all are having to like run the rat race, I'm over here pushing a rock up a hill.
Yes. Yeah. Honestly, honestly, and it's such a blessing being a stay-at-home wife. Like it really is. It also has made me even more. I was already angry before I was a stay-at-home wife. I was angry at the way that like everyone was forced to work
Mm-hmm.
just to live so they could keep
Mm-hmm.
working.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even have enough time to live and go do things because you have to go back to work so you can
Mm-hmm.
still have a place to live so you can go to work.
Mm-hmm.
That used to frustrate me so much. And now that I'm a housewife, it actually frustrates me more for everybody I know
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm like, this is up. You all deserve to be home. Like,
And the answer is truly like, I have time, and that's like the most valuable thing. And like, I don't know how
yes.
to make working people have time. Like, that's a pivot that I'm trying to make in my content is how do I encourage working people to take advantage of what limited free time they are and convince
Yeah.
them that they should learn a skill during that time, even though it's going to feel like hell for them. We should be like the housewife revolution.
We should have our own housewife show, but it's like, yeah, it's like we're the,
Wholesome. Like we're
yeah,
fighting
wholesome
all
and
of
like
the
spiritual and weed and just like real vibes.
And the confessionals are us like talking shit on the other girl. I mean, just
I'm like, I was watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and Heather Gay stays pissing me off. Sorry, she does.
my last question for you is kind of combined because I feel like we've touched on like how luteal phase has impacted us as community members and like really how it just brings up that anger and like thinking of that in mind. What is one shift or habit or mantra or piece of advice that you would give to someone who is struggling, maybe hasn't got the time that we do to like really think about all of it? Like, where would you recommend someone who is busy starting?
I think for me, just like talking about it with the people in my community so that they knew, like, I'm not trying to ignore you or flake on you if I can't show up the
Yeah.
way that you need me to or whatever. And like, as soon, like, even when I just make friends now, even if I'm like getting close with someone, I make sure to say, like, oh yeah, like I'm autistic. And it, like, I'm very, very, very sensitive, like, to my period. And sometimes I can be nonverbal, or my like stress can just like overwhelm me where I just really can't leave the house kind of thing, or I just can't see people. So I just make sure to be very upfront and honest about it so that there's never any like, why does she do that? Why is she wishy-washy
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing? And
Mm-hmm.
also accepting like, okay, okay, this is like kind of funny, but if now in my head how I justify it when like a friend, I say in quotations, or someone gets upset that I can't show up that day or something, I'm like, oh my god, like they're being so ableist. Like they like, why would you tell an autistic person that you're mad at them? So then when I'm being mean to myself, I'm like, am I being ableist because of this? My brother also has autism, but he was diagnosed at a very young age. He was like little. Um, and when like since he was little, he's never had a problem saying no, and my family's always been cool with it. Like, and my family did a great job getting him into occupational therapy, and that's also why I didn't expect that I was autistic, is because he and I present differently.
Mm-hmm.
We do present similarly in terms of like special interests, and we have almost the same special interests.
That's
And so we have a
fun.
lot to bond over and talk about, and we have a great time spending time together.
Uh-huh.
But the ways that he struggles were a bit more outward as a
Right.
child,
Mm-hmm.
and he would just say, "No, I'm not going to this family party," even in like before he was old enough to make those decisions home. And so my parents would be like, "That's okay, you can stay home." Like, you don't, and no one would ever get mad at him for that, because
That's
why would we want him in a
awesome.
situation where he's uncomfortable and
Right.
where he's struggling? So
Right.
when I'm being mean to myself, I'm like, bitch, you don't like when other people are ableist, don't
Mm-hmm.
be ableist,
Mm-hmm.
even to
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Imagine this was your brother or someone you love. Like you would not say like, look, I know you're autistic, but get over it. Like, you
Right.
know what I mean? So
Right.
so same thing with PMDD. It's a condition. It's also doctors, like, the reason that it's like so intense is because it actually does like ruin your life. Like, PMDD is a separate category because the characteristics of it affect your working conditions,
Mm-hmm.
your relationships. You can lose your job, you can lose
Mm-hmm.
your house, you can
Mm-hmm.
lose your safety. So it's a huge issue.
Yeah.
So it's the same type of thing. If that is your main thing that you deal with, I would just be so honest about it with people. And then any type of judgment that anyone has after that, it's like, ooh, ableist?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even
Mm-hmm.
label people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like a little mantra too, which is so like dumb, but it's like, it's simple and funny, but like it
Fun.
works.
Okay.
Okay. So when, like we were talking about, we get angry
Yeah.
during the luteal phase. And like, so when I'm like really like worked up and like just feeling like angry and like emotional or out of control, if I need to bring myself back to like, no, you know who you are. This is not who you are. My mantra, it's so dumb. It's, I'm funny and calm. So then my only things that day that I focus on are staying calm and making a joke out of everything. Because even if I can't, like, if I can fake being in a good mood,
Yeah.
it can eventually kind of help. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Even if I'm just being like dry humor, I don't need to be like, oh my God, everything's so funny and lighthearted. Even if I'm just like making like kind of dark jokes, I'm funny and calm.
My thing, I'm constantly like, I am not a chill girl, but my mantra is we are all experiencing the side effects of marijuana, and that is chill.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
No, but I really love your centering on acceptance because I think it almost like creates this full circle moment for me where I'm like, yeah, it all started with me understanding and accepting the appropriate language of like, oh, that's not PMSing, that's ovulation, and just how saying it enough and like hearing yourself say it enough allows you to accept it, and it's only when you accept it that you can even get into the problem solving of it. So
Yeah.
I do really love how like your first step, I really feel like is objectively the first step of like just tell the people and see what happens. Like we said, like let go of the how or the when or the why. Like,
Yeah. And if you lose people because because it does happen where like you stop maybe showing up as much to events or something because you're taking care of yourself.
yeah.
Because when you do say yes to those events and then you do go, you end up like mentally just crashing and spiraling afterward and having
Mhm.
a hard next week after that kind of thing.
Yep.
Like if you do lose people in that process, it's like, oh, so you didn't actually really like me. You liked the way I was masking and presenting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then I think what's even like sadder about it to like go on of you
Yeah.
lose people and it is really sad, but then like unfortunately your life just gets better. So it's like
Oh my God. Isn't that
okay.
crazy? Isn't that crazy? Like,
Like the way that starting this creative endeavor of podcasting lost me my friend group very quickly, but like gained a whole sense of like life purpose that I've been
mhm.
searching for. Like I have wanted to be a YouTuber since I was like 12. And
Me
I
too.
like and I went through college. I definitely went through the pandemic knowing I want to be a content creator so bad. It is not your time. Because I was going through grad school during the pandemic. I was like, you cannot juggle the
Yes.
both. Like you have to pick your education, honey. You cannot
Oh,
pick
yeah.
out because you're a YouTuber. And it's like it is so sad because like this time of my life is quieter and like I don't have all the kiki and the rah-rah and like the way I sometimes will be like, I don't have any friends to just like FaceTime. What the going on?
hmm
It is sad, but the way my life is elevated because it's just like me doing pushing my rock and then
Yes, just
looking at
pushing
everyone
your
else,
rock. You pushing your rock, smiling the whole time.
me being like, bye, you BoJack bitches.
Yes. No, literally let them go. Let them go.
Yeah.
It's so like it can be really really hard to let relationships end and stuff like that. I totally understand. Like I say I totally understand, but I'm like so Libra coded that I'm actually like the cutoff queen. And I don't do it a lot is the thing. I've only had to cut off like in my whole life 5 people. But every single time I've done that, it's just like I just elevate immediately and it's almost like damn, I mean, if I would have known you were holding me back that much, I would have cut your ass out a while ago.
Right? It's like, wait a minute. I think that you were convincing me but that I was at the bottom of the hill and plot twist, I've been at the top this entire time. I kind
Yes.
of needed my boulder to squash you.
I had to let go of that boulder at the end of the day and let it roll over you.
And
Roll
you
you over,
wouldn't get out
bitch.
of my way, but
Yeah.
eventually, like, you'll either run out of the way or you'll get squashed and I'll come pick you up and, like, we'll rebuild. Well, thank you so, so much for your time. I had so much fun picking your brain, connecting, pondering, all of the things. Can you let everyone know where they can find you and catch up with you?
Yes. So I am Awake and Bake podcast on YouTube. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, my personal is Dani Liz Watson, or I also have Awake and Bake podcast on Instagram. It got deleted and it got brought back.
Thank you so much again. And for all the baddies that made it this far, thank you so much. Please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, and we will ponder and reflect in the next one.